Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of the Daily Stand-Up. My name is Lee Henson, president and founder of AgileDad. Without any further ado, let's get started. In keeping with the theme of the week, Happy Friday, we talked about vision and road mapping. We talked about backlog item creation. We talked about release or big room planning or pie planning. Today, I want to talk to you about backlog refinement or grooming. Now, many people ask me, why do I use the word refinement instead of grooming? I've had an opportunity to do some work with Operation Underground Railroad and other organizations where grooming means something completely different. So I've limited the scope to use the word refinement. It doesn't mean that grooming's wrong. If you want to call it grooming, I have no issue with that, nor will I ever correct you. But I choose to use the word refinement. So in this session, you'll hear me use backlog refinement instead of backlog grooming. So with regard to backlog refinement, the purpose behind this is so that the product owner can spend 1 hour per week per team to help them really get their head around what items are going to be upcoming in the workflow. So maybe it's going to be the product owner asking them to refine estimates, or maybe it's going to be refining acceptance criteria, or maybe it's going to be helping create acceptance criteria, or maybe it's going to be whatever the product owner needs. Break down things into tasks. It's different each meeting. But the importance here is it creates a channel of communication between the team members and the product owner so that they can have 1 hour per week per team to spend with that product owner to refine and discuss and to get their head around the items that are being proposed for future sprints, for things that are going to be coming down the pipeline. So while in release planning or big room planning or PI planning, we didn't have that opportunity to ask those detailed, more intimate questions, this is the opportunity for the team to really dig in deep and ask those questions and make sure they have their head around the work. In other words, the work that comes out of the backlog refinement workshop should be work that's ready for sprint planning. It should be properly sized. It should be small in size or scope. It should have clear acceptance criteria. It should be refined and defined well by the product owner. It should be work that's easily consumable and something that has a tangible output. It should not have more than 3 to 4 pieces of acceptance criteria tied to it. We don't want to have excessive acceptance criteria because we don't want it to be something that turns into a full solution as opposed to a backlog item. So I think it's important for us to understand the scope of backlog refinement. Now, the reason we only do it for 1 hour a week is because the team has lots of other work that they need to achieve, whether it's building out backlog items, whether it's doing refinements or updates to work that's currently out there. The team just has a lot of scope that they're trying to cover, so we don't want to take away too much of their time. So the purpose behind a refinement session being an hour is to say, hey, let's just set aside an hour each week and see what we can cover. And it's the product owner's responsibility to come in with a set of work that needs to be done, and it becomes the team's responsibility to really understand and get their head around and say, hey, I get it. I know what you're asking us to do, and I'm going to do everything I can to make this easier for us when it comes time for sprint planning. So the goal here in this session is to reduce the amount of time we spend in a future sprint planning meeting. Now, I've seen sprint planning sessions go for 4 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours. My goal is to try to get that sprint planning meeting down to about 30 to 45 minutes. If I can get it to under an hour, I'm a happy camper, and I think that most developers are too. So this is the opportunity where we're going to look at work that's coming up in the next sprint or in future sprints and really do the best we can to get our head around understanding and asking the right questions about, do we understand who this is for, how it ties into our existing product, when this work should be expected to come down the pipeline, has it been adjusted so it's not epics at this point, is the work broken down so that it's easy for us to consume, is it properly sized. During this meeting, new work may be introduced that is going to be an opportunity for our team to size because we may be the team that's most likely to work on those initiatives. So there's lots of opportunities for the product owner to define exactly what happens in this meeting, but there's also lots of opportunities for the team to ask for clarification necessary, as this is the key linchpin before the work actually gets included in sprint planning. So as a quick summary, because it's Friday, we'll keep it short. We just want to make sure that we understand that backlog refinement or grooming is the opportunity for 1 hour a week for the team, for each team to spend with a product owner so that they can make sure that work that's coming up in future initiatives or future sprints has been clearly defined, that the acceptance criteria is good to go, that they have their head around sizing and understand it, and that in often cases it's already broken down into tasks so that it's ready to be consumed in a sprint planning meeting. The purpose is to help the product owner really engage and get to know the team better, and help the team better engage and to understand the product owner's wishes so that they can become better at understanding and delivering the work that's going to be incredible for the product owner to see. I hope you found this information useful. As always, we encourage you to visit AgileDad.com, where you can find lots of information on this and many other topics. And once again, we hope you had an amazing week. We look forward to seeing you in a webinar on Monday, The Art of Agile Estimating and Forecasting. It's going to be exciting, I can tell you that now. We hope to see you again really soon. As always, we encourage you to stay well, stay healthy, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, take care.